Your phone is face down on the table. It's 7:15 p.m., Friday night. You finally carved out a weekend for yourself. No work, no plans, just you and a quiet house. That feeling of relief is still fresh. Then, the buzz. You flip the phone and see Mike's name, buddy from college. "Hey, man, could really use your help moving tomorrow. You're the only one I can count on. Can you?" And before your brain even catches up, you feel it, that knot in your stomach. You want to say no. You need this weekend. But your thumbs, they move before you can stop them. "Sure, no problem." You hit send. The frustration floods in, not at Mike, at yourself. How many times have you done this? How many times have you agreed to something you didn't want just to keep someone else happy? And what's it costing you every single time? So why is this so hard for most men? People-pleasing isn't just about being nice. It's a habit, a deep one, of putting other people's comfort, approval, or convenience ahead of your own well-being. And for men, that pattern runs deep. Think back. Most of us grew up hearing it. Be the provider. Be reliable. Don't cause trouble. If someone needs you, step up. If you say no, you're selfish or weak. This shows up everywhere. Take Dave. He's been at his company 6 years. His boss knows Dave will never say no. "Can you cover this shift? Can you stay late?" Dave always agrees, even as his own work slips and his weekends vanish. Or Marcus, 28, first serious relationship. His partner makes plans for both of them, dinners, holidays, weekends. Marcus goes along, afraid that if he pushes back, he'll seem ungrateful or start an argument. What's underneath all this? It's not just conflict avoidance. It's that deep dread of being seen as difficult, uncooperative, or, let's be honest, disappointing. Maybe you tell yourself, "It's not a big deal, I'll just suck it up." Or, "If I say no, they'll think I don't care." Or the classic, "I'm strong enough to handle a little inconvenience." But those small sacrifices pile up. They become the default setting. You're the dependable one. And you start to lose touch with what you actually want. Sound familiar? Let's talk about the cost. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you pay a price. First, the emotional toll. Resentment builds. You feel drained, anxious, maybe even angry, but you swallow it down because that's what a good guy does. After a while, you stop trusting your own feelings. You might even wonder what you want anymore. Then there's the hit to your relationships. Here's the twist nobody talks about. People-pleasing doesn't make relationships stronger. It breeds quiet resentment and passive aggression. The people around you sense your frustration, even if you're smiling. Eventually, it leaks out, snapping at a friend, withdrawing from your partner, going silent at work. And it's practical, too. You miss out on rest. You lose opportunities that matter to you. You might even blame others for your exhaustion, when the real issue is this: you never gave yourself permission to draw a line. And don't ignore your health. Chronic stress, poor sleep, burnout. The body keeps score. Over time, the cost is more than just emotional. It's physical, too. Let me be clear. Kindness is not saying yes to everything. Real kindness has a backbone.
All right, here's the approach that actually works. I call it the pause, check, choose method. Simple, but not always easy. First step, pause. Interrupt the automatic yes. People pleasers respond fast, sometimes before they even think. Your first move is to slow the game down. Why does this matter? Because it gives you space to access your real feelings, your real options. Here's how you do it. When someone asks for your time, your money, or your energy, don't answer right away. Give yourself a buffer. You can say, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." Or, "I need a moment to think about that." No drama, no explanation, just space. Most people, they'll accept this without question. If they push, if they say, "I need to know now," that's data for you, not an emergency. You repeat calmly, "I'll need a minute to consider. I'll get back to you." Now, once you've bought yourself that space, here's step 2. Check. This is where you ask yourself the hard questions. Do I actually want to do this? Do I have the time, the energy, or even the desire? Am I about to say yes out of guilt or out of genuine willingness? This step is where you start to rebuild self-trust. You get honest about your own needs. Ask yourself, if I say yes, what am I giving up? If I say no, what am I afraid will happen? Is this a real obligation or just a reflex? You might feel guilt, anxiety, maybe even fear. That's normal. Sit with it. It gets easier the more you practice. And then, step 3. Choose. You make a conscious decision, yes or no, and you communicate it clearly. That's how you reclaim your agency. You set the terms of your own life. Here's exactly what you say if it's a no. "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm not able to help this time." Or, "Thanks for the invite, but I need this weekend to recharge." Or, "I can't add more to my plate right now." If you want to negotiate instead of flat-out decline, try this. "I can help for 2 hours, but I can't commit to the whole day." Or, "I'm happy to join for dinner, but I need to leave by 8. Some people will be disappointed. Some may push back. That's their right, but it doesn't make your boundary wrong. If they push, you stay calm and repeat, "I understand you're disappointed. I still need to pass this time." Hold the line. Respect goes both ways. Let me walk you through what this looks like in a real situation. Let's start with Ethan. He's 34. It's Friday, and his friend texts, "Can you help me move Saturday?" Ethan's had a brutal week. Normally he'd say yes, even though he's exhausted. But this time, Ethan tries something different. He pauses. "Let me check my weekend plans and get back to you." He checks in with himself. He realizes he really needs downtime. He feels guilty, but also relieved at the thought of saying no. So here's what he says. "I'm wiped out from work and need to rest this weekend. I can't help with the move, but I hope it goes smoothly." His friend is disappointed, sure, but he understands. And Ethan? He spends the weekend recharging, not resentful. Now meet Luis, 28. His partner tells him, "We're going to my sister's for dinner Saturday." Luis had planned to work on his car. He smiles and agrees, but inside, he's annoyed. This time, Luis pauses. "Let me think about that for a second." He checks in. He wants to support his partner, but he also values his own time. So he says, "I know your family's important, but I had plans for Saturday. Could we go Sunday instead? Or maybe you go and I'll join next time." His partner is surprised, but appreciates his honesty. They negotiate. Luis feels respected, and so does his partner. And then there's Dave, 45. His boss dumps another project on him. "Can you handle this by Friday?" Dave is already swamped. Normally, he'd say yes, then suffer through late nights and missed deadlines. This time, he pauses. "Can I take a look at my current workload and get back to you?" He reviews his tasks. Adding more would mean burnout. So he chooses. "I'm at capacity with my current projects. If this is a priority, I'll need to shift something else or get support." His boss grumbles, but respects the clarity. Dave avoids burnout and earns more respect, not less. Think about your own life for a second. Where could you use this? Where are you saying yes out of habit instead of choice? Now, I know some of you are already wrestling with the what-ifs. What if they get angry? What if I lose the relationship? Isn't this selfish? What if I'm overreacting? Won't they just find someone else? Good. These are real concerns. Let's break them down. Some people will get angry. That's reality. But anger is their emotion to manage. Your job is to set the boundary calmly and let them feel what they feel. Most anger passes quickly when you stay respectful but firm. What if I lose the relationship? If a relationship can't handle a basic boundary, it's built on compliance, not respect. Strong relationships may wobble at first, but they get stronger as you show up as your real self. Isn't this selfish? Selfishness is taking without regard for others. Boundaries are about honest limits, not using people. You're still a good friend, partner, or employee. You're just not a doormat. What if I'm overreacting? Check your facts. Are you truly overwhelmed or just uncomfortable saying no? If you're stretched thin, that's real. If you're uneasy because it's new, that's growth. Trust your gut, not your guilt. And finally, won't they just find someone else? Maybe. And that's okay. You're not the only solution to every problem. Let others step up too. Every time you choose yourself, even in small ways, you rebuild self-respect. You show the world how you expect to be treated. That's not selfish. That's strength. This work isn't easy. You'll feel the old guilt and fear. But every no that honors your needs is a step toward the life you actually want. Start small. Next time someone asks for your time, pause. Give yourself space. Check what you really want. Then choose and communicate it directly. You're not just breaking a habit. You're building a new identity. A man who knows his value, speaks his truth, and lives on his own terms. It starts with one honest answer. The rest is practice, and you're ready for it. If this hit home for you, subscribe so you catch the next one. And if you know a man who needs to hear this, share it with him. This is Coach B, reminding you, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first.
I'll see you in the next one.